Future cars worth waiting for, 2021 to 2025. Our sneak peek of the most promising cars, trucks, and SUVs of the next few years. 2021 Alfa Romeo GTV. It's difficult not to love Alfa Romeo's Giulia Quadrifoglio. In spite of the sports sedan's tragic reliability record, it's still an absolute joy to drive and looks incredible. Who wouldn't want that in even sexier form, like, say, a two-door coupe? Good news. One is on its way, and it will resurrect the iconic GTV name and add electrification to the Quadrifoglio's 505 HP twin-turbo V6. Expect up to 600 horsepower. 2021 Alfa Romeo Tonale. The upcoming Alfa Romeo Tonale promises to be a rare beauty in a sea of luxury subcompact crossovers. Plus it's Alfa Romeo's first hybrid model. Previewed by a concept model at last year's Geneva Auto Show, the production version should arrive later this year, starting around $35,000. 2024 Aston Martin Vanquish. Aston Martin's next Vanquish will be a mid-engine supercar targeting the defining dream machines of the moment, cars such as the Ferrari F8 Tributo, Lamborghini's Huracan replacement, and the McLaren 720S and 765 LT. Previewed by a concept car at the 2019 Geneva Auto Show. Pictured, the Vanquish should start just north of $300,000 when it arrives in 2023. 2021 Audi e-tron GT. Audi's electric e-tron lineup grows for 2021, with the shapely e-tron GT joining today's e-tron, no name, just e-tron, crossover. There's no dancing around it. The GT is aimed squarely at Tesla's Model S. Audi is hoping it will deliver more than 250 miles of driving range and nearly 600 horsepower from a pair of electric motors, one per axle. Underneath its Blade Runner exterior hides the same J1 architecture, developed for fellow Volkswagen Group member Porsche, for its stake in EV. 2021 Audi Q4 e-tron. The Audi Q4 e-tron is smaller and cheaper than the e-tron and e-tron Sportback, and it's aimed at the core of the crossover market. The Q4 e-tron was initially previewed by a concept car, pictured, shown at the 2019 Geneva Auto Show. It will be the fourth electric Audi to come stateside, but the first to use VW's MEB architecture, designed exclusively for electric vehicles. It, too, will offer a slightly sleeker Sportback version. 2024 BMW i8M. BMW is working on a follow-up to the plug-in hybrid i8 Halo car, which in and of itself never really lived up to expectations. Previewed by the 2019 BMW Vision M next concept car, this yet-to-be-named replacement, we've taken to calling it the i8M, should place greater emphasis on performance than its predecessor did. It could also set the Bimmer world on fire with its retro M1-inspired style. It could have rear louvers, people. 2022 Chevrolet Corvette Z06. The upcoming Chevy Corvette Z06 will be the first of several upcoming ultra-high-performance variants of the C8 Corvette. We expect it to go on sale in early 2021 as a 2022 model, starting at about $85,000. It will use a naturally aspirated DOHC 32-valve 5.5-liter V8. Plus, it has a flat plane crank, just like a Ferrari V8. It should rev to between 8,500 and 9,000 RPM, spit out 600+ horsepower, and shriek like something from Ferrari. 2022 Ferrari Purosangue SUV. Ferrari is finally taking the leap in building an SUV. For a brand that built its reputation on racing cars, that is, this new project is quite the departure. For now, the creation is being referred to by the Purosangue name, which is Italian for thoroughbred, and will go up against the likes of the Bentley Bentayga, Lamborghini Urus, and Rolls-Royce Cullinan, if not in pure performance, at least in price. 2022 Ford Fusion Active. Selling a station wagon in an American car market infatuated with SUVs is a risky play for a manufacturer. But once Ford kills off the Fusion sedan later this year or early next year, a lifted version of that stigmatized yet highly practical type of vehicle will soon be as close as shoppers will come to finding a new family car in a blue oval showroom. Enter the Ford Fusion Active. 2022 GMC Hummer EV SUT. In an amazing twist of fate, General Motors' gas-guzzling middle-finger-flying Hummer brand, discontinued in 2010, is poised to make a comeback for 2022 as an all-electric sub-brand of GMC. We know very little about the GMC Hummer EV SUT pickup truck so far. But we do know that it will offer 1,000 horsepower, and GMC claims it's capable of blasting from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.0 seconds. GMC will release full details this fall. 2023 Hyundai RM20 N. Of all the newcomers to the mid-engine segment, no vehicle highlights the current sports car zeitgeist quite like a mid-engine Hyundai, which could be called the RM20 N. When it arrives in 2 or 3 years, expect the Hyundai to bring mid-engine dynamics to a new level of affordability. As we understand it, the decision makers in South Korea are still weighing whether their car should be a $40,000 Hyundai or a $70,000 Genesis. In our minds, there's no question. It's too soon for Genesis to challenge Corvettes and Porsches, but a proper sports car could validate both N and Hyundai. 2021 Hyundai Santa Cruz. The Hyundai Santa Cruz is the automaker's foray into the pickup market. It follows Honda's approach rather than the formula that American manufacturers perfected. The unibody truck will be offered with a single bed length, a 4-door crew cab, and a choice of 4-cylinder engines. We expect to see the Santa Fe's 2.4-liter and turbocharged 2.0-liter inline-4s paired with an 8-speed automatic and all-wheel drive. 2021 Jaguar XJ. Jaguar's full-size XJ sedan is getting old, but you wouldn't know it by looking at the seductive 4-door. Time marches on, however, and Jaguar is looking to replace the XJ, however handsome it is now, with an all-new model for 2021. And Jag is going bold. The next XJ will be fully electric, with some 300 miles of driving range and DC fast charging. 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Late this year, Jeep will launch an entirely new Grand Cherokee. It likely won't make it into buyers' hands until next year, as production has been delayed. What those new owners will get is a Jeep based on a version of the Alfa Romeo Giorgio platform found under the Giulia sedan and Stelvio SUV. The Grand Cherokee will be significantly longer than the trim little Stelvio, though. Not only will the Jeep's wheelbase surpass the Alfa's 110.9 inches, we expect it to be longer than the current Grand Cherokee's 114.7 inches. So it's a good bet that the new Uda will be roomier than the outgoing model. 2022 Jeep Wagoneer/Grand Wagoneer. Jeep is bringing back the iconic Wagoneer nameplate for a new full-size SUV offering. Set to debut sometime within the next few months, the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer will compete with the likes of the Chevy Tahoe and Suburban. They will use a version of the Ram 1500's body-on-frame platform, with the Grand Wagoneer likely to be an extended wheelbase version. 3 rows of seats will be standard, as will 4-wheel drive. We expect V6 and V8 engine options along with hybrid and plug-in hybrid variants. 2023 Land Rover Defender 80. The upcoming Defender 80 is a new baby Land Rover set to be positioned below the recently revived Defender in the brand hierarchy. If it reaches the US market, it could provide a more affordable entry point to the off-road-oriented Defender range. UK media reports have named it the 80, given that Land Rover calls the 2- and 4-door Defenders the 90 and the 110, respectively, although there is no confirmation of that. 2022 Lexus LQ. Lexus is still lacking the modern, high-end SUV that virtually every other luxury vehicle maker has to offer affluent shoppers. The upcoming Lexus LQ, which will serve as a sleek range-topping crossover, should address that shortcoming. Previewed by the LF1 Limitless concept, pictured, the longitudinal engine LQ should share key structural elements with the LS sedan. It also should share its powertrains, including the A416 HP twin-turbo V6 and its A354 HP hybrid powertrain. An F-Performance model might even pack a twin-turbo V8 good for 600-plus horsepower. 2023 Mazda 6. For its next mid-size sedan, Mazda plans to adopt the blueprint of a full luxury model and hang a lower price on it. The next generation Mazda 6, which should be on sale by the end of 2022, is set to get a full Bavarian, transitioning to a longitudinal engine platform with rear-wheel drive and an inline-6. 2021 Maserati MC20. The upcoming MC20 will be a mid-engine reminder that Maserati exists. Rather than a successor to the ultra-rare, hyper-expensive MC12, the MC20 is a run-of-the-mill six-figure Italian sports car offered in both coupe and convertible forms. Maserati promises that the MC20 marks the start of a new phase in the brand's history, which it desperately needs if its vehicles are going to be relevant again. Maserati recently released technical details about the MC20's twin-turbo V6 engine, which will produce 621 horsepower. 2022 Mercedes-AMG SL-Class. Today's Mercedes-Benz SL-Class has strayed quite far from its glamorous past. Its predecessor's grace has given way to ungainly styling and a clunky folding hardtop mechanism. The 2022 SL is Benz's attempt at reconnecting with its past, so expect this convertible to be sexier and more athletic while switching to a lighter, more regal folding soft top. It'll also be called a Mercedes-AMG SL, as the performance division has taken over development of this new model. 2021 Nissan 400Z. Nissan will finally give the Z car the attention it deserves by introducing a successor to the ancient 370Z. The new Z, codenamed Z35 and likely called 400Z, won't be a ground-up rethink. It will continue on the latest version of Nissan's FM platform and share components with the Infiniti Q60 Coupe. The twin-turbo 3.0-liter V6 that makes up to 400 horsepower in the Infiniti Q50 and Q60 seems like a shoo-in. Nissan recently previewed the Z's shape in a video showing many of the company's new models. 2022 Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS. The upcoming Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS is a lighter, more powerful, and even more track-capable version of one of the great sports cars of the moment. It is set to arrive in late 2021 or early 2022, starting around $130,000. The GT4 reintroduced Porsche's Flat 6 to the Cayman line after the latest redesign replaced it with a turbocharged Flat 4. That 4.0-liter makes 414 horsepower. The RS6 will also displace 4.0 liters, but in the vein of the 690 HP 911 GD2 RS, figure on output approaching 500. 2021 Ram Dakota. Chrysler's midsize Dakota pickup is making a comeback. This time, it falls under the Ram brand name, instead of Dodge, and it will cost less than the similarly sized Gladiator that Fiat Chrysler Automobiles sells through the Jeep brand. Unsurprisingly, the Ram Dakota will share its underpinnings with that Jeep and likely will be built in the same Toledo, Ohio, facility. 2022 Subaru BRZ/Toyota 86. The next generation of Subaru and Toyota's jointly developed sports cars are on their way. They will use a similar formula to the current models, with lightweight construction and rear-wheel drive for balanced handling. Power may come from a 2.4-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine to raise the performance threshold this time around. Look for them to debut early in 2021 before going on sale later that year as 2022 models. 2022 Toyota GR Corolla. A hot hatch version of the Corolla is coming soon wearing a GR badge, for Gazoo Racing. It'll be Toyota's first sporty compact since the high-revving Corolla XRS from the mid-2000s. The GR Corolla also will serve as an apology to Americans who are upset that we're not getting the awesome rally-inspired GR Yaris. The GR Corolla should land in 2022, with a starting price around $30,000. It will use the mighty turbocharged hamster wheel from the GR Yaris that pumps out 257 horsepower from just 3 cylinders displacing 1.6 liters. 2024 Toyota MR2. Toyota is on a bit of a sports car kick of late, having remained committed to the 86, a rear-drive two-door co-developed with Subaru, and having introduced a new Supra, co-developed with BMW. Next, Toyota is looking at resurrecting the midship runabout two-seater known as the MR2. Unlike previous iterations of this mid-engine sports car, the new MR2 likely will be electrified. 2021 Volkswagen ID.4. Volkswagen is readying a tidal wave of electric cars, 50 total across its various brands, to debut by 2025. This is the first of those that will reach the US, and it's called the ID.4. This electric crossover is aimed at the most popular vehicle segment today, compact crossovers. It makes sense. VW needs people to buy into EVs if it has any hope of success with its plan to release a great many electric vehicles. Giving the people an EV in the size and shape they prefer these days surely will help every EV that's expected in the next 2 years. These electric vehicles aren't for sale yet, but are in various stages from concept to production, and perhaps a few may never see the light of day.